Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody who is beloved. We've got this Queen of Cups. Does not need to be a woman, but this is somebody who people see as compassionate or considerate, very caring of others and cared for. And there's something here that is an opportunity for this Queen of Cups to get into a better situation. And people are concerned that the Queen of Cups is not going to take this exit ramp or this chance they have at something improving. So you could be the Nine of Swords individual who's worried about someone that you care about deeply. You could also be the Queen of Cups where someone's worried about you. Take it how it resonates. But let's call in spirit with a little bit of Winchanta. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I hope you have some fun weekend plans. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. We're going to start with the Mystical Cat Tarot, or continue, perhaps I should say. What else do we have? We have the Seven of Sky, which is the Seven of Swords, and the Sky Queen, or the Queen of Swords, in the reverse, and the Three of Earth, or Three of Pentacles, in the reverse. So there's someone here who is lying to the Queen of Cups, someone who could be potentially like a love interest or a close friend, but they are not trustworthy. This is somebody who lies. This is somebody who's not liked by a close friend or perhaps even family member, or plural, right? Multiple people, because of something that they have failed to do or because of how they speak to you. We have the Sea King, or the King of Cups, in the reverse. There is this perception of the individual the Queen of Cups is dealing with, that they are emotionally immature or unpredictable, perhaps even a little bit volatile with the Seven of Fire or Seven of Wands. But there's this chance that the Queen of Cups can move out or end the relationship or block this person for good. And it looks like there's this hesitation. The Queen of Cups looks at the situation. They know this is what I should do, but it's like all of the emotions make it really difficult for them to be decisive. They keep thinking that maybe there's an opportunity or a chance to work on this, make it better. For some of you, perhaps this Queen of Cups connection that they're dealing with is a toxic family connection. You know, I love my parents, I want things to be okay, but they continue to cause problems or avoid accountability. But I do feel like for the majority of you, this would be a romantic connection for the Queen of Cups. We have the Ten of Earth, or Ten of Pentacles, in the reverse, the Sea Tom, which is the Knight of Cups, and the Seven of Earth, or Seven of Pentacles. So there's something here that could be a better use of time or energy, something that the Queen of Cups could do, like take a different job, move to a different area, find a different set of friends. This is the question mark. Someone is concerned that the Queen of Cups is not going to follow through with this, or is going to get kind of like dragged back in to a situation they're trying to walk away from. This is the Cats Rule the Earth. Yeah, there's a cycle of behavior, something that this Queen of Cups has chosen or allowed to continue beyond its expiration date. We have the Three of Pentacles, friends or family that are looking at this with hope, wanting to see this Queen of Cups like level up, walk away from this drama or codependent energy. Ten of Pentacles, Seven of Swords. Yeah, there's someone here who has a habit of lying, and there's, I think, a very close friend or a family member, perhaps even a sibling, that is like, I see what you're doing. I know how you act, and I don't want you to be around this Queen of Cups anymore. Very protective. Don't mess with my friend, or don't mess with my sibling, kind of, I don't know, like ready to fight if I have to kind of energy. Three of Cups in the reverse and the High Priestess in the reverse. I do feel like this would be somebody who doesn't really communicate in a strong way, which is why there are people who are encouraging the Queen of Cups to move away from this person. So High Priestess in the reverse, they've been kind of ignoring their intuition, not wanting to admit that maybe this connection is not very healthy. Hello, Dino. Dino, if you could email me, then I can send you the reading for your membership. Hello, Rachel. How you doing? What else do we have? We have the Six of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, and the reverse. Cautioning whoever is this Queen of Cups against feeling guilt for doing what's right for them. Maybe they're a little too invested in what their departure would mean for the person who has been mistreating them, and not really been honest with themselves about what kind of impact this connection has had. I mean, we have the Five of Pentacles, so it feels to me like friendships with people are kind of difficult. Maybe making money, staying at a job, having consistent living situations, or even just the mental state might have been a challenge around their partner, or perhaps this is a friend. So the concerned parties are hoping that this Queen of Cups is going to move or walk away from the Five of Pentacles energy. The person who's not really very helpful, seems to be a bit selfish and could be a bit immature. You have the Ten of Wands and the Knight of Wands. This is like, hey, if you end this relationship, or if you move out of that situation and you need somewhere else to stay, you can come stay with me as long as it's for this amount of time. Like, we got to make sure that you're actually staying away and not coming back. Like, trying to make sure it sticks, right? This is, let's get some non-cats, shall we? This is the Gold Foil Tarot. I'm doing well, thank you. Hello, Myra. How are you doing? What kind of question you got? We have the King of Cups in the reverse. Seven of Cups in the reverse. Ten of Swords in the reverse. Four of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing with that person. I don't know why you put up with their energy. They've come up as the King of Cups in the reverse twice now. It's like they'll soak up the loving, compassionate energy of this Queen of Cups, but they don't return that energy to them. This is somebody who the friends and family of the Queen of Cups consider to be not good enough for the Queen of Cups. And yet there always seems to be resolution to the arguments. There's never like a final rejection, or, I'm actually walking away from this person. So perhaps they have children or just a lot of history together, but it's been a challenge to watch this Queen of Cups go back to a situation that they know they probably should walk away from. Five of Pentacles again. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. And the Nine of Swords again. Yeah, worrying about this person because they're in a relationship that doesn't make them happy, or is maybe even a bit restrictive or controlling. Wanting this Queen of Cups to start a new chapter. Ace of Cups, Hierophant, Six of Cups. So a close friend, or perhaps a family member that cares deeply for this Queen of Cups, is making an offer. Hey, I have a rental property that's, the current tenant is moving out. Maybe you could move in and we could work out a deal. I can get you a discount on the place, but then that'll enable you to have like a fresh start, or you could do your own thing instead of living with that person that you're trying to get away from, right? There's maybe a job offer. There's this, it requires some disruption. It requires some change, but it's a hopeful opportunity to get away from this difficulty. And even though it requires a little bit of sacrifice, or it might be a difficult timeline, it might put someone under a lot of pressure. The friends or family members of this Queen of Cups are like, please, please go for that. We want you to let go of this old chapter and walk away from this person. Page of Cups in the reverse, but there's this concern. The Nine of Swords is because I'm worried you're not going to take this opportunity. I'm worried you're going to go back to the same kind of situation or the same person, and I'll have to worry about you all over again. I'm glad to hear that, Carmencita. Oh, you're saying you're good. You don't want the offer, but I hope you're also saying you're having a good day. Grant wants some bunk beds. What else do we have? Caring connections. I don't think this is romantic. I think this is friend or family that sees a relationship and knows that there needs to be some change because it's not healthy. So even though we have this Angel of Love card, I don't see this necessarily as romantic. I don't think this is some, I'm going to save you from a difficult situation because I'm in love with you. I think this is, I care deeply for you and I don't want you to continue to put yourself in a relationship or stay in a relationship where you're not being treated with the respect that you deserve. Garden in the Gate, but there's history here. There's some sense of security because it's a routine, because it's what I'm used to. I know how to predict this person, and all of that new stuff is a little bit scary. The Garden in the Gate is somebody who is afraid to go check out all of the amazing stuff beyond the gate because they feel some sense of security where they are. But with the Angel of Balance, they also seem to understand that things would be less stressful over there than where they currently are. That change would be something that would probably benefit them a great deal. All right, let's get a few from the Romantic Lenormand. What else do we have, please? Yes, exactly. I would agree that it's more wholesome. Oh, we got the Whip. And we have the Tree. So the Whip is a card that can talk about punishment. It can also talk about sacrifice. So we have that reference with this Hanged Man in the reverse, or even the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. I have to let go of the potential that this has. I have to say that I'm not willing to wait around for this to improve. I have to let go of that dream that I had with that person. And it makes me feel like I've failed, or like I'm the problem, or I wasn't somehow good enough. But the reality is we have somebody in a codependent connection and they're like punishing themselves. And I don't deserve that. So with this Tree, there's strength in numbers. There are people who are, connecting with this Queen of Cups in a caring way, saying, I want you to be happy. Is there something I can do to help? Or is it something we can do to like help you move into this new place? So we've got a choice between continuing the self-imposed torture, right, with dealing with somebody that's unpredictable, or do I go choose to build a new chapter amongst people that I know I can trust? So if you know my channel, you know that when the Whip card comes out, there's a joke I have to tell you. Are you ready? Hey, Laura, how's it going? The Whip. No, not the Whip. The Whip. No, please, not the Whip. The Whip. No, please, anything but the Whip. Anything? The Whip. All right, let's see what else. We'll go with the We'll go with the Egyptian tarot. What else do we have? Hello, Santiago. Hello, Redbeard. How we doing? I'm going to assume that you're talking to somebody within reach. Happy Friday. So we've got the King of Cups in the reverse. Again, that's 3 times. Only the second tarot deck did not have the King of Cups come out specifically in the reverse. So yeah, this person that you've been dealing with, or that your friend or family member has been dealing with, there's no stability to build a trusting relationship upon. This is someone whose temper is difficult to predict. This is someone who could be jealous or entitled. This could be someone who's really bad with money or doesn't seem to know how to manage things in a way to grow sustainably, right? Maybe consistently losing a job or struggling to make sure all the bills get paid, even though maybe they make enough. But we have this Empress energy. This is the Queen of Cups, someone who feels like they need to care for this individual. Well, they can't care for themselves, so I have to do things for them. I have to take care of everything. I have to make all the money. I have to do all the cleaning and cooking or whatever, right? There's someone here who relied on the other for everything, and the Queen of Cups is the one who's been too nice, the one who's been relied upon. So this King of Cups in the reverse, remember the genders don't mean anything in tarot. This is, well, I shouldn't say it that way. It doesn't correlate to physicality. This is energy that I'm reading. So the King of Cups can be anybody. The Queen of Pentacles could be anybody. But we do also have this Queen of Swords in the reverse, which I feel is growing resentment happening between the two. Because with this King of Wands, we have somebody who's been reckless, someone who's made some decisions that are questionable, despite knowing they're already probably on some thin ice here with their partner. So the Queen of Cups has been wronged multiple times, and the partner that they're with is trying to get forgiven or find some way to just kind of like ignore what has happened that they should probably apologize for, right? There you go. What's up, Matt? It's the best, isn't it? What else do we have? Oh, that one didn't flip, actually. I think this is just somebody who's struggling to interact in a way that is mature. And the Queen of Cups is trying to work up the courage to just admit that it's probably not going to work if you're dealing with somebody who is manipulative, someone who doesn't want to take accountability, or somebody who is perhaps a gaslighter. We've got the King of Swords in the reverse. So they've come out as the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords in the reverse, with the Magician smack dab in the middle. Interesting, because I feel like this is saying, even though I'm dependent on you to pay the bills or make sure things get done or do the yard work or put food on the table, drive me to where I'm going, whatever it is that they're dependent on this Queen of Cups for, the Queen of Swords, King of Swords in the reverse individual vilifies that person. So they still, it's not like I'm grateful for it and I'm trying to make sure that you don't stop paying for everything. It's more so that they're like trying to make it seem like this Queen of Cups should be thankful that they get to take care of this person. Oh gosh, you shouldn't have. Tower in the reverse. And it's getting to the point where this Queen of Cups is saying, why am I doing this? Maybe I really should walk away. Maybe I really should end this connection because it's not really going in a positive direction. It might not be going in any direction. It might just be stagnant. Right? Probably most people. We've got 3 of Cups, 8 of Cups, Ace of Cups, the Sun, and the 8 of Pentacles. So friends and family are hoping to encourage a departure, encourage this Queen of Cups to move on from this codependent person and focus on themselves. The Ace of Cups is self-love. This is often looked at as, I have a crush on you, I want to be with you, or hey, you're looking good, let's go out. This Ace of Cups is about, it's time to give to yourself after you've been so focused on taking care of someone else who was not thankful for it. And I do feel like this Sun is about enlightenment. You know what? You're right. I've been giving too much to a person who doesn't seem to be thankful or, understand that they could maybe even be helping. So why not work and contribute to my own prosperity and stop letting someone else like siphon off of that, right? We've got the Four of Cups in the reverse with the Two of Swords in the reverse. A decision to stop feeling like they're not good enough and acknowledge that they've been mistreated. That, this partner of theirs has tried to make them feel like they couldn't move on or find somebody else, but maybe that's all lies. Maybe they've been believing something from a person who's been spewing a lot of BS, trying to make this Queen of Cups feel at once that they have the best thing that they could potentially get, but they're also not good enough for it. Seems like a little bit of projection. We've got Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands in the reverse. So we have this reading coming through because whoever is this Queen of Cups, they're in this like decision point, or they've maybe made the decision, but they haven't taken the action. So I'm leaving. I've maybe got some things packed up, but I have to get in the car. I have to take the key off my key ring and say I'm done with this place, right? So there's people who are like crossing their fingers. Like, I really hope that this Queen of Cups actually walks away or actually chooses to take a different path instead of staying with this person. Because I do feel like in the past they've had the opportunity to walk away and they've gone back. This is not just like we dated for a couple of weeks and I know I need to like leave this person. This is someone that they have had a few cycles with. King of Pentacles, Ten of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, Page of Swords. But there's something here that has really made it clear that the Queen of Cups has been putting forth too much effort, or that they've been kind of taken advantage of by this partner of theirs. And I feel like it has to do with finances, lying about whether or not they're employed, lying about whether or not they paid the bills, lying about whether or not they could afford something, or where the money went. And I feel like this Queen of Cups realizes this is just like not a good use of my time or not a good investment, right? My money could go to better things. King of Wands. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. This person could be lying about employment, what they make, whether or not they have good standing, whether or not they've found a job or are job hunting, but they have had some sort of illusion or something they didn't want to be honest about with regards to their ability to make money or contribute to this living situation with the Queen of Cups. It's like they just want to be taken care of. So we have this Ace of Wands representing that opportunity or that chance, but it requires the Queen of Cups to walk away from the King of Swords in the reverse, or the King of Wands. Nine of Pentacles is about somebody being single, but also refers to somebody listening to their intuition, which is definitely an important part of this reading because the Queen of Cups is a pretty intuitive individual, and I think knows that they need to walk away from this connection. But the Queen of Cups is also known for being compassionate. So there's this discovery or this understanding that I think is finally starting to settle in for this Queen of Cups, that you can love somebody and still choose to end a connection or end a friendship, give it some space, let it breathe. You don't have to sacrifice your own happiness in the name of love. And that's why they're realizing that the way this person actually treats them is indicative of how they feel. And they've been going through all of the little weird justifications and listening to the gaslighting, hoping that things were actually better than they were. But now they're being honest with themselves. So friends and family, or maybe just like a really close friend, they're hopeful that this Queen of Cups is finally going to end the connection for real. It's true. That's a unicorn. Yep. It's a real one, but he pretends to be a stuffed animal while I'm live streaming. I'm just kidding, you guys. We have conflicted decisions, hot and cold, multiple choices, heart fog, mixed signals, blocked emotions, messed up, and mistakes, misunderstood, victim, and lost soul. Because the King of Wands or the King of Swords in the reverse individual has often played victim or tried to make the Queen of Cups feel responsible for what they need, it has taken a long time, or it is still a bit of a struggle for this Queen of Cups to clear out that heart fog and realize that their partner has to have responsibility for their own actions, that they have to have some skin in the game. If you want things to improve in your life, show me that you're working for it, right? Like, I'm not expecting you to be perfect. But if you are complaining about something in your life and you're not doing anything about it, then aren't you really complaining about yourself? If there's something you can do to change circumstances that are frustrating you and you're not doing anything, then you're just complaining about yourself. So I feel like this Queen of Cups has had to be honest with themselves about the lack of involvement or contributions from their partner. It's like a choice. It's what they are choosing to do and what they feel like they can do because they feel like they can manipulate this Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is starting to realize, I think it's probably time for me to address this illusion, be honest with myself about who I'm really dealing with, right? I don't know what that refers to, but if anyone else knows, please let Laura know. All right, so we've got curse, hex, witchcraft, negative mind. The King of Cups in the reverse, or King of Swords in the reverse, the person who has been with this Queen of Cups, they have some healing they need to get to, a negative way of looking at life or viewing the situation or the connection. They feel like they always have another chance to make amends or to come back around. So they never really feel like they have to work on themselves. They feel like they always have a get out of jail free card. The Queen of Cups is realizing that loyalty is something they need to have a slightly different understanding of. Loyalty doesn't mean I love you, you're in my inner circle, therefore, no matter how you treat me or how you comport yourself, like I'm going to be cool with you and have your back. No, loyalty is something that is a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more complicated than that. And they feel like, okay, well, if I'm not the Queen of Cups, if I'm not getting any loyalty in return, then why am I always expected to offer up so much loyalty? Starting to ask some questions and realizing that maybe it really is time to reject this King of Cups in the reverse, King of Swords in the reverse, and move on with their life. And the reason we have the Nine of Swords is because there's people worried that when this King of Cups in the reverse apologizes, that the two of them will get back together because it's happened before. But there is a pretty good chance that this Queen of Cups is like, you know what? No, I don't want to deal with that. I think I'm good. I think I'm just going to keep on moving on. So this is the Overthinker's Oracle. I have a feeling this could be either of the two, but probably more likely to be the King of Cups in the reverse, especially if this Queen of Cups is walking away for good and they find out. They might claim to be soulmates or say that it was fate that brought these two together. They might talk about how great things were in the past, but sometimes things look a little bit better when you're looking back. This is someone who's got non-committal energy. They get distracted easily, or commitment may be scary. Maybe they just aren't good at it, right? But at some point, remember I said there were cycles or chapters here. At some point, they chose someone else. And I do feel like that's where things got really difficult. Like, how can you recover the trust after that? So the Queen of Cups may have been suffering from that point on, but trying their best to make it work. Now the Queen of Cups seems to be accepting that it might really be over, and they could kind of be doing themselves a disservice by trying to make it work. The King of Cups in the reverse is feeling like they have to do whatever it takes to get their Queen of Cups back if they actually do leave. The thing is, they do tend to be all talk. If they feel like they have legitimately lost the Queen of Cups, they're going to up the ante. They're going to do more than they normally would have, because they do feel like they can get this Queen of Cups back. But I don't know that they're going to have the right approach. I'm sorry I broke your heart. I think they can say the words. I think they can express that they're, apologetic. But when it comes to changing the behavior, I don't know. They also are going to try to be more honest and admit that there was something here that the Queen of Cups said that they didn't want to admit was true, but it was true. I stay awake all night thinking about you. I know I owe you an apology. Ooh, and we might have somebody that's using some magic here. They may get a little bit desperate if they feel the normal, like the hold they thought they had over the Queen of Cups. If it doesn't seem like it's still there, they might get a little adventurous with how they approach this, because they really don't want to lose this Queen of Cups. It would impact a lot of areas of their life, so they're kind of freaking out. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes and for being you. And I'll see you on the next reading. Toodles.